Welcome everyone, and welcome back to the Culture Cabbage. We had taken a somewhat extended leave because a certain friendo went on vacation. Say hi, friendo.
Hi, friendo.
Aw, thank you, Carl. Yes, it has been a few weeks, but we had good reason. And now we're back in better than ever to once again bring you the news. It'll just be two birds flying solo tonight as me and Carl will once again bring you the best in media news.
Yep.
Hi, Carl.
Hi, DJ.
Do
I what?
Do you?
Do I what?
Do you want to do the DC news?
Oh, yeah, I get to cover the saga that's Ezra frickin' Miller.
Good luck.
Starting off with, apparently a script for The Flash who has been already completed by the writer of Aquaman. It will include guest appearances by Michael Keaton Batman and Kali's Supergirl. After that, we have Chris Miller says that they've learned a lot from making Lego and the Spider-Verse movies, that you have to love your characters and that you need to find ways to have sincere emotional moments in the midst of all the jokes you really care about. They said this while talking about the revival of a new show by Stone Hot. Anyone remembers that weird show? Next we have is Becky G has been cast in Blue Beetle. She will be the voice of Azda, a being of immense and controls the serum, which is the little blue bug that Jaime Reyes voice.
Or as Jacob would call him, Robbie Reyes, but you know.
Anthony Massini, director of The Flash, has now joined James Gunn and James Mangold as the third director to helm a DCU project.
And the more names we get on this, the better, I suppose.
Now, this one's kind of funny. So someone pointed out in the Flash movie that Young Barry has a poster of Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. This means James Gunn is a real person in the DCU because he wrote Scooby-Doo 2. And James Gunn responded by saying, "I'm canon?"
Bro, James Gunn has become a canon event, bro. And surprisingly, Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed looks better than The Flash.
Yeah. And Warner Brothers has made their own Warner Brothers Discovery Ride. Features takes the trouble of choosing what to watch out of hands of the collection of live channels. This includes a Pie channel, a Peanuts channel, the Flintstones, Powerpuff Girls, the original Teen Titans, Ed Nettie, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and the original Ben 10 Saga.
What a bit.
Sasha Cali says, "I think that The Flash is really a runway to a bigger story for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King is an incredible story. I love it. I think it's so cool. So yeah, I hope to continue playing Supergirl for sure.
Even though she likely won't.
I'm out of our little us three, only one of us isn't here, but I'm the only one who's seen the movie, and it was just because it was on Instagram Live. Someone was live streaming the movie. And she does not, Sasha Cali does not do a bad job as like the angry, like Flashpoint Supergirl.
Yeah, from everything I've heard, she did pretty good.
Haley Scott admitted she was really disappointed that she didn't get to return as Amunet Black in The Flash's final season. And she was an okay character. I didn't mind her.
They were trying to fit everything into that season anyway.
We previously mentioned Andy Massini is now confirmed to be the director for Man, the Brave and the Bold. And it's funny. Grant Gustin has admitted that he left The Flash due to missing bedtimes for his daughter while not wanting to give less than 100% to the series.
Grant Gustin being the best Flash challenge. It's not even close.
Yeah. Let's say John Wesley Shipp would probably make a good run for it.
He was good. He just didn't do as much. That's the thing.
Stephen Amell has addressed the future of the DCU on screen. He said, "I wish everyone nothing but the best, but right now they need us a lot more than we need them."
I wonder what he means by that.
Oh, I do. Oh, this one might make you a little happy, DJ. Jean-Claude Van Damme, which is a very funny name, will star as Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat. I realize something now. That's not the movie. That's not the movie. That's the game. I'm just realizing.
Yes, there's going to be a skin for Johnny Cage based off Jean-Claude Van Damme because, okay, the lore behind it is that the original Mortal Kombat game was going to be a movie tie-in game to a movie called Bloodsport that had Jean-Claude Van Damme in it. And then they repurposed one of the characters in that game into Mortal Kombat as Johnny Cage. Ergo, and Cage was very closely based off Jean-Claude Van Damme. Ergo, that's why he's a skin for him.
Say that name again.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Good Lord, that is a long name.
He has a fun name to say. And it sure makes a cooler reference than Dimitri Vegas as Sub-Zero. What the hell was that all about?
No idea, you're asking the wrong guy. Director James Wan was asked about Aquaman 2. He said, Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom, I very much was inspired by the Silver Age period of comics. It was fun. It's also learning in the environmental message that has always been prevalent in the book. He was answering questions on Reddit.
Sadly, that's another movie that's going to probably be doomed from the start.
Yeah, because as we know, even later in our topics, so shotgun, Flash is not doing very well. It's the same problem with Shazam. They literally, James Gunn, when he was making his announcement of what he was doing for Chapter 1, barely said these two movies are pointless.
Yay, we get literally pointless movies. It's fantastic.
The only reason these two are now is they were done.
Yeah, they were already made, and they were already going to be shipped out because we can't exactly get all the money we made back.
Yeah, I will say Shazam 2, you probably could get your money back if they did what they did with Supergirl, but no way you're going to do that with Flash.
No, because hey, Keaton's expensive.
Yeah, that's not the only thing that was expensive. But next we have is DC Comics has announced Birds of Prey from writer Kelly Thompson and artist by Leno Ramito and colorist Jody Belling. The comic stars will launch this September and star Black Canary, Girl, Big Berta, Zealot, and Harley Quinn. And it's Cassandra Cain, not Barbara Gordon. At least that's what I'm guessing by the art. That is Cassandra Cain.
Very likely, I suppose.
Next we have is Kevin Smith has a copy, apparently, of the Joel Schumacher cut of Batman Forever, and he will be talking about it. He did talk about it on June 19th, and someone put up the hashtag release the Schumacher. James Gunn has not confirmed. Sorry. The Authority will appear in Superman Legacy, a new animated Flintstones original movie called Meet the Flintstones is at work the WB animation. The two main writers of the Super Mario Brothers, Aaron and Michael, are writing the script, which I've heard good things about the Super Mario Brothers movie. You've seen it, haven't you, buddy?
Yes, I have.
Bad news I have to bring. Cartoonist and artist Ian McCreaney, known for his work on Adventure Time, B, and Invader Zim has sadly passed away at the age of 30. And Warner Brothers Pictures Animation has signed a new first-look deal with London, UK, and Los Angeles-based Locksmith Animation to develop and produce animated features for worldwide distribution. And Warner Brothers Animation Group is now be renamed to Warner Brothers Pictures Animation. HBO Max, renamed to The Max, has gained 1.6 million subscribers since its relaunch. Somehow, yeah. Additionally, Warner Brothers managed to pay off some of its outstanding debt, causing stock price to rise for the second day in a row. Good for them. Next we have is a fun topic for you, because you'll like this topic, because it has to do again with more Mortal Kombat. Ed Boon has confirmed that the Crypt will not be in Mortal Kombat 1. When asked about new modes, Boon responded by saying, I can tell you that the Crypt will not be in it, but we're going to have a whole new system for unlockable. And you were not very happy about that, were you, buddy?
I mean, I love the Crypt. I think it was one of the cooler modes in MK11, and it's been around for a while. It's been around since at least 3D era. I want to say it goes all the way back to Deception, maybe Deadly Alliance. I may be stretching that though. But it's been around for a long time, so I'm curious to see what kind of what form of because that's how you unlock stuff basically. So how we will do that in Mortal Kombat 1, we'll have to see. Maybe it'll be more closely related to the story. I don't know.
Now this one is a touchy subject, but Warner Media went to Andrew Cuomo, the former mayor of New York, in 2020 and asked him to loosen restrictions on movie theaters in New York. A few weeks later, it was announced that most theaters in the state would reopen. Oh, interesting.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah. Tyler Hoechlin was asked about the importance of the Superman Legacy. He said, in Superman Legacy. He said, I'm passing the torch to the next person and it will be soon. It was fun to be part of something that's bigger than you, like a little small part of this huge legacy, seeing how much it means to people around you and around the world at different stages of life. I think it's really cool to be part of that legacy and champion those values in a short period of time.
Well, that's nice.
And Superman and Lois has officially been renewed for a fourth season by the CW. This fourth season will only be 10 episodes long. Only 10. And Gotham Knight has been fully canceled. The show should not have existed in the first.
Yeah, because putting a bunch of Z-list Batman characters in a room and telling them to make it work isn't going to work.
Oh, there was two, I want to say at least B, maybe A-list.
Okay, more relative unknowns.
Yeah, because they had Stephanie Brown, and the bigger one was the Joker's daughter. Those are somewhat big. I wonder who Harper Row and her brother, sister, whatever the fuck he is, or she is, whatever the hell. And the son of Bruce Wayne, that guy was 100% Bruce Wayne. But speaking of people I do not like, when we were talking about people, Ezra Miller discussed his experience working with Anthony Massini on The Flash and explains why Anthony is the perfect for this genre. He said he was such a vision artist similar to Snyder. Andy is another director like that, almost like a comic book visionary. But we'll have more stuff about him later. James Gunn was on the Michael Rosenbaum podcast Inside With You, and he said on the podcast, I mean, the first DCU character is Blue Beetle. The first movie for the DCU is Superman Legacy.
I mean, it's more stuff we kind of already know. Superman Legacy is going to be kicking us off.
No, kicking us off will be Creature Commandos. That's the first official DCU project.
Oh, fair enough.
Next we have two new members of crew members. We have Stephanie Calio, the VFX supervisor. He worked on Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Avengers Endgame. And Henry Bottom, as cinematographer, he worked on the Guardians and the Suicide Squad.
Which one? Like the Suicide Squad or the Suicide?
The Suicide Squad.
Accentuated the. Okay.
Yeah. James Gunn on that podcast confirmed that Peacemaker is coming back right after Superman Legacy. He'll go right from Superman into Peacemaker.
All right.
And more follow from the writer's strike. Penguin has been halted filming until the writer's strike ends with fair paying conditions for the writers.
I mean, it was kind of expected, right?
Yeah. Superman Lois star Dylan Walsh, who played General Sam Lane, has been cut from season 4 due to budget, according to his wife. I was confirmed by his wife. We do not know. And Christopher Nolan, WB wants Christopher Nolan to return to the studio to invite him to the lot. He has also been paid a 7-figure bonus for Tenet as a sign of good faith. And the Lord of the Rings reboot is in full swing. WB film chief Michael Kuka and Pam Abbey visit New Zealand earlier this year to reconnect with Peter Jackson and discuss future films. And back to Superman Legacy, most of the supporting cast, so Sam Lane, the Lana's family, and the Steele family, have all been from series regulars.
All right.
The only recurring characters we will have now is Superman, Lois, and the boys. And you have some homework to do, buddy, because Harley Quinn season 4 will premiere on HBO Max this summer.
Yeah, I got a lot to catch up on.
And Harley Quinn's spin-off series focused on Hype Man has been retitled from Nuna to Hype Man. Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Now, I don't know how you feel about this.
Hype Man.
I don't know how you feel about this show, because I didn't particularly watch it, but it might have been, I was around as a kid, but I was either too busy or I already had my Cartoon Network show to watch. But we got our first look at Adventure Time, Fiona and Kate. It follows a young adult animated series that explores the relationship between fearless warrior-wielding adventurer Fiona and her magical friend Cat Cake as they embark on a multiversal adventure and journey of self-discovery. What's with the multiverse, WB?
Yeah, did they really have to use the M word? But regardless, I always liked Fiona and Cake segments back in the day. I say this, God, I said that unironically. Wow. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. And obviously it's going to be not completely adult themed, but made for a little bit of an older audience, so neat. We got some new casting for Mortal Kombat 2. We have Marlon Ford as Shao Kahn, Desmond Chem as King Jared, and Tu Gling as Queen Zendel, and Dane
Damon her as Quan Chi. How did I do with those names?
Oh, Mortal Kombat's got some fun names, man.
I mean, how did I do?
Got everyone right except Shao Kahn.
I guess like.
Because Shao Kahn is the name of Goro's race, four-armed people.
And we got our first images for Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends prequel animated series showing up at the anime film today.
I always had a soft spot for Foster's, so.
It has been renamed to Foster's Imaginary Nursery, and blue will be CGI. The thing is, it's all supposed to be like 2D. It's not supposed to be 3D.
Oh, all right then.
Well, wasn't the entire show Foster's Home for Imaginary all 2D, and they never did really 3D things?
Yeah.
They were all flat.
Exactly.
Apparently, they had a list of directors before they got to Andy Muschietti for The Flash. We had Sam Raimi, Mark Webb, Ben Affleck, Jordan Peele, Matthew Vaughn, Robert Zemeckis. They all turned it down.
Bro, freaking Big Rob? No way.
What's your opinion on The Amazing World of Gumball?
I love Amazing World of Gumball.
You're gonna love this then. The Amazing World of Gumball Season 7 will be a continuation of the original series, not a sequel series.
Cool. It never should have ended, and we're still waiting on that movie.
I think this is going to be your movie. I hate to say it.
Probably.
Next we have is James Gunn and Peter Savant on hiring Muschietti. He said the Flash is a fantastic film, and Andy's attitude and passion for this character and this world just resonated throughout every frame. So when it came to time to find a director, there was no other choice. Luckily, Andy said yes. Barbara signed on to produce with us, and we were on our way. They're an extraordinary team, and we couldn't have better or more inspiring partners as we embark on this thrilling new adventure in the DCEU. I believe everything but the first part of that sentence.
Yep.
And producer, I'm guessing his wife, Barbara Muschietti, has reported on the sequel being developed by DC. She said I think was a bit premature. We're not very familiar with the draft. This is not a very popular character, so I don't think this will work as a show. But a new DC animated series, Beast Boy, Lone Wolf, is in the works at Hanna-Barbera Studio, and Penguin will be rated TVMA, which is equivalent to the R rating. I believe that's always been the case. Andy Muschietti has confirmed there is a 4-hour cut of The Flash that exists. However, he is happier with the final version that was released. I wouldn't be. More Flash. Henry Cavill's Superman and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman were in the ending for The Flash, but James Gunn and Peter Sven had it for the odds. So they have 3 endings. One would have Michael Keaton Batman and Hallie Supergirl as coming at the courthouse. Hallie Supergirl, Marvel Superman, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, and Keaton Batman at the courthouse. And the one they currently have in theaters, which spoiler alert is George frickin' Clooney. And oddly, the ending for for The Flash would have tied in directly to the scrapped Wonder Woman 3 movie before James Gunn and Peter Sven scrapped it. And Gal Gadot says she's filled with power to be developing other stories that she impassions following the cancelment of Wonder Woman 3. Tom Cruise is reportedly being courted for a DC Studios project. Sasha Calle says she's met with Peter Sven about her future as Supergirl. Where was it? Lost my place. DJ, what's your opinion on The Rock?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on The Rock?
Dwayne he's Dwayne.
I've not liked a lot of his decision, but this is a decision I'm kind of happy he went with.
That being?
The Rock refused to associate himself with Ezra Miller, reportedly declining Black Adam cameo in The Flash.
Good on him. Say what you want about him, but he has, for the most part, good moral standards. And
this is somewhat not really tied to Rick and Morty, and some of it is taking over the lead role in Solar opposites from Justin Roiland. So this might what happened to Rick and Morty. He might take over. And Gal Gadot has implied she is done playing Wonder Woman. And sad news, Super Friends, the first Justice League animated series, has been now removed from Media Max. And Jensen Ackles, famous for playing Sam, or do you remember which, in Supernatural, would like to play Batman in The Brave and the Bold. I'm not gonna say it. And Hama Kathleen, known for playing Mantis in the MCU, reveals she and James have been talking about roles for the DCU. What role do you think she should play? Someone asked. James Mangold on his Swamp Thing movie said, well, I'm sure DC's view Swamp Thing as a franchise would be viewing it as a very simple, clean, like horror movie about this man/monster. Just doing my own thing with that, just in a standalone. And Blue Peter Direct confirms that the film is part of the plans for the future installments of the DCU. Yeah. Next we have here's an interesting question I'm gonna ask. So we
Go for it.
have this guy asked, one Superman must go. So we have Christopher Reeve's Superman, the DCAU Superman, the DCEU Superman, or Tyler Hoechlin's Superman. One shall go. Who would you get rid of?
Read them off to me again.
We have Christopher Reeves.
Okay.
We have DCAU. We have Henry Cavill, and we have Tyler Hoechlin.
I'm just gonna get rid of Heckland. It's not that he was bad. It's just I don't know. I just lean towards Heckland then.
I hate to say it. I like Cavill with what he did, but well, I didn't like what he did, but he has hope, and I get rid of Cavill.
I mean, it stinks because he was a good Superman, just in the wrong movie. Alrighty, hold on. Lost where it was. Few animators for Across the Spider-Verse have come out saying, talking about unsustainable working conditions that have caused approximately 10 artists to leave 100, artists to leave the film. These include demands to redo finished work 5 times, plus potential 11 hours a day for 7 days working for weeks. That's a lot. And one animator even says that there's no way Beyond the Spider-Verse is releasing in March of 2024. The only any exploration or tests that were done before the movie was split into 2 parts, which is worrying. One animator claims Phil Lord fought with Sony on Across the Spider-Verse for the entire process, rewriting the film up to the last minute. However, Pascal denies this, but adds that there were major overhauls to narrative and visuals along the way. I'm not sure why Sony was getting on for that, but Amy Pascal on workers for Across the Spider-Verse who felt demoralized about revising final renders 5 times. If the story isn't right, you have to keep going until it is. I guess welcome to making a movie.
5 times, really?
Yeah, really. Ali Salim, I believe, was told not to read the Secret Invasion comics before working on the show. It has nothing to do with what we're trying to do here. We already talked about this when the whole Witcher thing happened, and we're not going to get to it again. Miles Morales, Moon Knight, and Spider-Man joined the students of Strange Academy on a deadly field trip. I forgot that Strange Academy is a thing.
What did those people?
Confirmed superheroes in Insomniac's Marvel universe: Peter Parker, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, Matt Murdock, and Wolverine / just mutants in general. Don Cheadle and Samuel L. Jackson think that should have appeared in the Black Panther film together. We thought, really? You're not going to pull us into Wakanda? Perfect opportunity. Kobe Smolder will reportedly have her 7th MCU movie appearance as Nia DaCosta in the Marvel.
Well, that just spoils how the hell Secret Invasion ends.
Yeah, really. Spider-Boy lands his first ongoing series. Marvel gives Daredevil a new white costume. Kevin Feige will receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Anthony Mackie, has addressed Jonathan Majors' arrest for an alleged assault. Nothing's been proven about this dude. Nothing, so everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Of course, Jonathan Majors files cross-complaint against his assault accuser. NYPD finds probable cause for arrest, sources say.
Oh, that's the one I'll take over. The only thing I'll add to that one is they issued an iCard to her, but the DA's office turned off to the woman. Whatever her name was.
Yeah.
What was all into that one?
All right. Things we know about the upcoming Iron Man game is that it's a AAA game. It'll be a single-player action-adventure, story-driven, third-person, open-world, its own standalone universe made with the Unreal Engine 5, developed by Motive Studios and led by Oliver Brolu, who made Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy.
You almost said it as well as I did the first time.
So yeah, that's all we know about it so far. Anthony Mackie says he wants to make an MCU film with Chris Evans, Sebastian Stan, and Chris Hemsworth. 4 of us will literally cause so much havoc. Probably why you're not allowed to make a movie. Marvel Comics has revealed the first look at a new romance-focused story between Captain Marvel and War Machine.
Man, does Rhodey really get around?
Yeah, Rhodey's getting it. Logan director James Mangold has reflected on the cancellation of the X-23 spin-off movie that's scrapped due to the Disney-Fox merger. There's no interest in continuing any semblance of what had been the Fox Marvel universe. Only a new report from the Rolling Stone shares how over a dozen sources have claimed that Jonathan Majors allegedly abused 2 of his romantic partners, one physically, both of them emotionally.
Oh, man, this guy cannot catch a break.
Yeah, really. And that is the end of Marvel. Do you want me to go straight into Disney, or do you want to go into
Disney? Go Disney.
All right. Thankfully, not as much stuff as there was for Marvel, but here we go. Hocus Pocus 3 is in the works at Disney. They legit made the second one 3 years later, and now after a year, they're making the third one. Go figure. Hayden Christensen says his Star Wars What If idea is where Anakin Skywalker doesn't fall to the dark side. He says gets to raise the twins with Padme, and Uncle Obi-Wan is there. It's a good ending, a nice ending that we can't have.
Oh yeah.
Young Rock has been canceled by NBC after 3 seasons.
Man, Simon Reich looking not too well.
Yeah, he is not catching a break. Star Wars Outlaws follows scoundrel Kay Vess fighting against various crime syndicates in this open world game set between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, both iconic and new planets. Sounds interesting. Obviously we've known this for a while. Pat Sajak says that the upcoming season of Wheel of Fortune will be his last, and that he's retiring afterwards. I mean, good on him. 3 Star Wars movies just got release dates. The next one will be May 22nd, 2026, December 18th, 2026, and then December 17th, 2027. And Disney's live-action Moana remake releases on June 27th, 2025. And this person makes a great point. Kind of odd announcing release dates with the writer's strike going on. Who knows? Who knows what progress they already have on them, though. We also got our first look at Carrie Fisher's final movie, Wonderwell. The film took 7 years to release due to visual effects changes after shoot, which caused major budget increases and a financial delay. The film releases on June 23rd, a few days ago, on digital. We'll be getting 28 restored classic shorts from Walt Disney Animation, including The Skeleton Dance, Building a Building, Bath Date, and Goofy Gymnastics, all on July 7th. Jennifer Lee says that she will not direct Frozen 3. Where we're going with Frozen did not come from me. It came from an incredible person. Pixar CEO Peter Docter says recent releases have trained audience that these films will not be available for you on Disney Plus. It's more expensive for a family of 4 to go to a theater when they know that they can wait. Both Woody and Buzz are returning for Toy Story 5, regrettably. And High School Musical, the series, will end with season 4. That's the name. All episodes will release on August 8th on Disney Plus. Chicken Little will appear in Disney's short film Once Upon a Studio. James Cameron comments on the Titanic submarine loss. He says, I am struck by the similarity of the Titanic disaster itself. The captain was repeatedly warned about ice ahead of his ship, yet he steamed at full speed on into an ice field. Pixar's Elemental took number 1 at the domestic box office for the first time on Thursday with 3.6 million, fall behind Spider-Verse with 3.5 million. But Pixar's Elemental has earned 120 million at the worldwide box office. The film managed to gross more this weekend than DC's The Flash on its opening weekend, despite both of them being pretty disappointing when it comes to their numbers. Ryan Seacrest will take Pat Sajak's spot on the Wheel of Fortune. Star Wars Eclipse is aiming for a release in 2026. The game is set during the High Republic era. Jodie Turner-Smith has been cast in Tron 3 alongside Greta Lee, Jared Leto, and Evan Peters. And that is it for the Disney stuff.
Now on to, just because we usually don't have enough Star Wars stuff, we've made a new Paramount/Universal one. So this one we have is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Stranger Things are crossing over. Release date and a new TMNT anime series based on Mutant Mayhem is possibly in the works. Plus, a new CGI Dora the Explorer series, a reboot, is slated to release on Paramount Plus on spring 2024.
It looks horrifying.
Christopher Nolan explained that he didn't use CGI for the nuclear explosion in Oppenheimer. He was quoted as saying, I find CGI rarely to be able to do. It tends to feel safe. Even if it's impressive and beautiful, it's difficult to make you feel danger.
So he set off a nuclear bomb.
Or pretty damn close to it. Daft Tech Part 2 will be releasing on April 4th, 2025 in theaters. Universal is closing a deal on acquiring the rights to The Legend of Zelda. It would be Illumination's next film.
Which is kind of frightening when you realize that the tone of Zelda is not one that would be carried by a studio such as Illumination.
And Bryan Cranston has planned to retire from acting in 2026.
Yeah, that's fair.
The CW has lost the rights to Transformers and G.I. Joe, and Image Comics has now picked them up. And Ubisoft CEO Gail Gilbert has said that the publisher failed to heed Nintendo's advice by launching Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope too soon, instead of holding out and releasing it for the company's next console.
Which hopefully we'll get some sort of news about sooner rather than later.
So that is the end of our Paramount and Universal news.
So now it's time to blast through the rest of miscellaneous. Microsoft could withdraw Activision from the UK to counter its acquisition block, a new report claims. The Directors Guild of America has reached a tentative deal with studios and streamers. Bryan Cranston will voice the Ender Dragon in Minecraft the movie.
I think I know a better actor who should play the Ender Dragon.
Who would that be?
E. Bradley Baker.
Or Troy Baker.
Yeah, he's better at making animalistic sounds than him.
I mean, fair. Unless they just turn this thing into Alduin from freaking Skyrim. The trailer for The Witcher Season 3 Volume 1 will appear on June 8th during Summer Game Fest. Tom Holland says his Fred Astaire biopic, directed by Paul King, is looking to begin filming in early 2024. Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding director's cut is coming to Mac later this year. We also got a peek at Ridley Scott's Napoleon during the Apple Vision Pro ad. I'm just going to call it SAG-AFTRA members have voted 97.91% in favor of strike authorization ahead of TV/theatrical contract negotiations that begin on Wednesday. Chris Hemsworth on Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino's criticism of Marvel. That's super depressing when I hear that. There goes two of my heroes I won't work with, I guess. They're not a fan of me. He clarifies that they're still my heroes, and I would leap to work with them. The FTC has fined Microsoft $20 million for illegally collecting children's personal data on Xbox.
Naughty.
Yeah, that's very stinky, even though $20 million isn't really a dent in Microsoft's wallet. Pete Davidson leaves Pete an explicit voicemail after they slammed him for buying a dog instead of adopting. We're not going to play it here, but it's not that hard to find. Look it up. It's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, you're actually going to put a picture of Pete Davidson on right now, aren't you, DJ?
No, I'm not. And I'm not going to show a picture of this man either, because Jake Paul
I
is set
wouldn't
to
ask you to
star
do that.
in his first feature film. The film follows a small-town youth rising to international fame through combat sports.
Boring.
Moving on, Jenna Ortega confirms that she will be a producer on Wednesday season 2. Jay Johnston, who voices Jimmy Pesto in Bob's Burgers, has been arrested and charged by the DOJ for his involvement in the January 6th Capitol riots. That took a turn.
Yes.
Jenna Ortega reveals Wednesday season 2 will focus more on the horror aspect. We're ditching any romantic love interest, which is really great. We're going to get bolder, more dark. We'll just have to see then. This one's funny because
the way they categorize it.
yeah, normally we don't get political here, but Home Alone 2 Lost in New York star Donald Trump has been indicted for a second time. Coileen Ballinger, YouTuber known for her character Miranda Sings, is under fire for engaging in a pattern of inappropriate behavior with underage fans. I remember hearing about that one. Also, Naughty. Jennifer Lawrence is opening to turning as Katniss Everdeen in a future Hunger Games installment. This
one you need to put on screen, because that is ugly.
This is based. This is red-pilled. This is an epic gamer moment, as they say. A new Leprechaun movie is in the works. Let's go.
You need to put it on screen so they know what you look like.
Yeah, this is my face reveal. Not really. Netflix has had the largest spike in user signups since January 2019 after they introduced the new anti-password sharing crackdown rules. Dr. Seuss's Cat in the Hat is set to debut for a theatrical release somewhere in 2025 or 2026. They went to this well once. It did not work.
We're going to the well again.
None of them have worked. The only one that worked was the Grinch movie with Jim freaking Carrey. Anyway, Persona 3 Reload releases in early 2024, and in Assassin's Creed Nexus VR, as of right now, there will be 3 playable characters, those being Ezio Auditore, Cassandra, and Connor. Wouldn't be my first choices, but you know.
No, maybe the first and the third choice. Second one's the weird one.
I mean, obviously, Ezio's got to be there. I mean, okay, to be fair, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I would have kept Ezio and Connor, but drop Cassandra for Altair. Come on, the man needs some love.
He got his 2 games. He's good.
10 years ago.
Potato. Don't got
Assassin's Creed codenamed Jade has gotten a trailer. I assume many of you are already aware of this, but the Reddit revolt is evolving as 300 top subreddits allege Blackout will continue indefinitely. I still have no clue what this actually means, but
so the Reddit CEO was going to I don't know if he was, but I don't know if he stopped, but he is going to charge third-party apps to be used on Reddit. So, and some of them were like, no, we're not going to do that. So a bunch of subreddits like lockdown. So they went private, they're private.
dang,
So unless you were already previously subbed to them before, you couldn't act on them.
that's crazy. Sony says not releasing. Hold on, I need to reread that. Sony says not releasing its first-party games on PlayStation Plus on day one is working and will continue to be our strategy going forward.
Another distant Game Pass.
Yeah, Sony holds 2024-2025 dates for Marvel movies. Illumination CEO Chris Melindarandi denies that they're developing a Legend of Zelda movie. Whenever someone denies something in Hollywood, it's usually true. Wes Anderson says his adaptation of Roald Dahl's The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar is 37 minutes long. The film starring Benedict Cumberbatch, Ralph Fiennes, Dave Patel, and Ben Kingsley releases on Netflix later this year.
We got 2 Marvel actors.
Ticketmaster and Live Nation will no longer hide fees from total ticket costs after President Biden pushed for companies to ditch junk fees. Well, no matter what your opinions on Biden are, this is a W. Reddit is apparently reaching out to moderators currently protesting the website's API charges, telling them to reopen the communities or else they will be removed. We mentioned these earlier. Anthony Padilla and Ian Peacocks have reunited to buy back Smosh. A player lawsuit claims to have evidence that Microsoft's Activision bid is designed to eliminate PlayStation, which would not be good for business, actually. This one is a bit of a fun. A bill called the Taylor Swift Law has been proposed in Brazil, which would punish ticket scalpers with up to 4 years in prison and a fine of up to 100 times the value of the ticket. I guess sometimes going for the most extreme measure is the correct one. This is going to be us mentioning a lot of the stuff at the Nintendo Direct. Super Mario Bros. Wonder releases on Nintendo Switch on October 20th. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 launches on Nintendo Switch on October 24th. A new Princess Peach game releases on Nintendo Switch in 2024. The Batman Arkham Trilogy releases on Nintendo Switch this fall. That will include Batman Arkham City, Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham Knight.
I like the guy's comment. I wonder how these games will run on it.
Very well, probably. The Super Mario RPG remakes releases on November 17th. Detective Pikachu Returns releases on October 6th. Microsoft argues that Xbox has lost the console wars and that its rivals are positioned to continue to dominate as Microsoft attempts to convince the FTC to let them acquire Activision Blizzard. Scarlett Johansson names her 4 favorite movies of all time, those being Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, Groundhog Day, Anti-Mame, and Terminator 2. Quite a bold list of movies. Some very good ones, too. Elvis Presley estate officially confirmed Sofia Coppola's upcoming film Priscilla, calling it horrible and says that it feels like a college movie. Priscilla Presley, on the other hand, praised it and says that she's excited to see the adaptation from the masterful Sofia Coppola. UFC President Dana White spoke to Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg about their cage fight and says that they're dead serious. This would be the biggest fight in the history of the world. Pay-per-view would cost $100 and all proceeds would go to charity. Ain't no way this is actually happening. Henry Cavill's 007 audition was tremendous, according to Casino Royale director Martin Campbell. Ghostbusters Firehouse has wrapped up filming. The film was on December 2023. Seriously, how are these Ghostbusters movies being cranked out so easily? Grease Rise of the Pink Ladies and Star Trek Prodigy have both been canceled by Paramount after 1 season, and both shows will be wiped from Paramount Plus soon. Logan director James Mangold wishes Wolverine wasn't in Deadpool 3, but he isn't surprised. There was always going to be another Wolverine. As much liquid as they can squeeze out of that rag, they're going to try to. A live read of Back to the Future will be happening with Ben Schwartz to star as Marty McFly, Quinta Brunson, Sam Richardson, Drew Tarver, Gil Ozeri, Bobby. We're gonna call him Bobby, and Scott Aukerman will also star. And man, does Ben Schwartz in this picture look like Sam Lake? Holy crap! Red Notice 2 is reportedly still in the works at Netflix. Reveals Gal Gadot. According to Inverse, season 2 of Invincible will deal with the multiverse. There's the M word again. The brand new season will release on Amazon Prime Video later this year. Google is reportedly testing a product to play games via YouTube because Google's last console went so incredibly well. Simon Pegg says The Boys season 4 is even crazier. I'm in about 4 episodes and it was a joy to be back. Phoebe Walker-Bridge says that her Tomb Raider series for Prime will be dangerous and exciting. What if I could take the reins on a live-action franchise with everything I've learned with a character I adore and also bring back some of that 90s vibe? Well, I would hope a Tomb Raider movie would be dangerous and exciting. Xbox Studios head Matt... Hey, no way, this is man's real name. Matt Booty said...
His parents I really hated him.
Xbox Studios head Matt Booty said Microsoft could spend Sony out of business in a 2019 email uploaded as evidence in an ongoing antitrust trial in San Francisco. Microsoft have really dug themselves into a hole, haven't they? And Among Us animated series is in the works. Moving on, Netflix are testing the removal of their $10 a month basic tier subscription. This would leave the cheapest tiers at the standard tier with ads $7 a month and the ad-free standard tier $15 a month. Netflix just keeps coming back with these L's. Recently got a new trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's. This song will continue until one of us breaks. The letter signed by 300 plus actors, including Meryl Streep, Jennifer Lawrence, Rami Malek, Quinta Brunson, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Ben Stiller, namely Pole Hair. This is just us learning how to pronounce people's names for an hour. Members of the Screen Actors Guild have threatened SAG-AFTRA after they threatened SAG-AFTRA that they will go on strike if the demands are not met. Good on them. Brendan Fraser, Jennifer Lawrence, Nave Campbell, Maya Hawke, Riley Kegno, Meryl Streep. I already said him. Others, just more people. More people talking about going on strike. A Spawn movie is in active development, eyeing a 2025 release. They've been talking about doing this movie for a while, so hopefully it sticks. Tron 3 adds American Horror Stories star Evan Peters. This is going to be... let's see. Red Dead Redemption rated in Korea in 2023. Even more actors signed to potentially go on strike. Microsoft considering buying Square Enix back in 2019 to add Final Fantasy and more into Xbox prior to the launch of the Xbox Series XS.
No, that's X and S.
Whatever.
Well, that's something to be after.
Microsoft can kiss me where my cheeks meet. To prepare for his role for Geralt of Rivia in the fourth season of The Witcher, Liam Hemsworth has been devouring the books and embarked on an insane training regimen. Well, don't do that; they may fire you too.
Well, do the second half, don't do the first.
We get a first look at Avatar: The Last Airbender: Quest for Balance, a new action-adventure game releasing this fall with 9 playable characters, as you can relive memorable moments from the series. Both sides of the SAG-AFTRA negotiations are reportedly considering an extension on making a deal up until July 7th. Captain America: Brave New World has wrapped up filming. Sadly, we have more deaths to talk about. Alan Arkin has sadly passed away at the age of 89, and former WWE star Darren Drozdoff, also known as Draws, was paralyzed. Who was paralyzed after an in-ring accident, has sadly died at age 54. So,
and kind of funny, he worked for the original WWE.
Yeah, when it was the WWF, that was before they did their campaign of getting the F out. Because the World Wildlife Foundation was like it's kind of our thing. But seriously, our condolences go out to the families of both Draws and Alan Arkin.
But you know what you should do?
What?
You should give cookies to Connor, because he Connor, and you from your house.
Why would I do that to Connor when we're talking about Assassin's Creed Black Flag potentially getting a remake, not 3? How can you do my boy Edward like that?
So who gives a fuck about it?
I just said he is my boy.
Okay, you're one guy. The rest of the games do not care.
Oh, boo. Anyway, that wraps up all the news that we had in this probably way too long of an episode. But hey, we made it through. We got everything done. Oh boy. So, anything else you want to mention, Carl?
No, I got my jokes.
Yeah, you just had to. But for real, on behalf of my friend, dear Carl, this is your favorite Southern California son signing off. Bye-bye.
Peace, yo. Next we have is James Gunn said to the response of the actor playing Mantis. He said, "Well, not as often as we talk about the cat video she sends me multiple times a day, but that's of course she is one of my favorite collaborators."
She sounds like a nice lady.
She does. And a Batman Beyond film with Keaton was reportedly in talks had The Flash performed well. If the movie did as well as The Batman opened at $130 million. One of the next Man movies they were going to make is Batman Beyond with Keaton. But that ain't gonna happen because The Flash has. I think it'll make its money if I went back, but I don't think it's gonna be a financial success in any way. WB is in talks to sell half of the studio's film and television music publishing assets for $500 million. It's believed included would be Purple Rain, Rent, and several of the Batman movies.
How short on cash are they?
I do not know. This is this is the somewhat stab at the Arrowverse. That this is a Flash, Supergirl, and Batman are an iconic trio in every universe, and it has Ezra Miller Flash, Michael Keaton Batman, and Sasha Supergirl, and the other one is Grant Gustin Flash, Melissa Benoist Supergirl, and Stephen Amell Green Arrow. This is a broad one, but Marvel, Lucasfilm, Netflix, Sony, HBO, and Universal are reportedly all skipping San Diego Comic-Con this year.
It's gonna be a boring Comic-Con this year, isn't it?
And DC Studios, specifically saying DC Studios haven't ruled. Oh, I guess Max has changed their mind. They haven't ruled out attending San Diego Comic. However, a SGA strike would likely end. James, you guys have something to say?
No, go ahead.
Okay. James Gunn says the DCU will feature a bit of a fantastic element compared to the MCU. It isn't just for throwing some superheroes on, and the actors from Mortal Kombat 2 have met before the filming begins. And James Gunn on the Michael Rosenbaum podcast said James has addressed why he thinks filmmakers have gotten really lazy with superhero movies. That there's this sort of middle of the road type of genre that so many movies are an opposite to having very different genre. And Zeta Bates says her dream superhero role would be Selena Kyle. Fandango is trying to help the Flash because Fandango is offering a buy one get one free deal for the Flash tickets while supplies last.
They are trying their hardest, man.
And this is how bad this Flash will have a 75 drop at the domestic box office last weekend. This was last week, tracking only $14 million. This is the highest drop ever for a superhero movie at the domestic office. And the Flash director has addressed the decision to include a partial nude scene in the film. I forgot there was a nude scene in the movie. It's not like full frontal or anything. It's part of the story. And I guess that's why I blocked it. I don't really remember. Bryan Cranston says people fan casting him for Lex Luthor were lazy casting. I had a bald head. They go, Lex Luthor. It's like, come on. Let's think about that for a minute. He's not wrong. Apparently, all 2 hours and 44 minutes of The Flash were reportedly uploaded onto Twitter and remained on the platform for hours before it was caught and deleted. And season 3 of Superman and Lois will be on HBO Max on July 28th. Gal Gadot will be receiving her star on the Walk of Fame, a new Flash anime movie called The Flash, Escape from the Midnight Circus. Oh, not a movie, sorry, podcast. Sasha Halley, there was initial plans for WB to make her own Supergirl movie after The Flash, but that was kind of for good reason, but they kind of screwed. And we have our actors for Superman and Lois. I've misplaced the image, so I have to find it. Where did that image go? Stupid image. I've lost it. Where did it go? I guess I missed that one. Oops.
Oh.
But it is. Let me find it in my Discord. Let me see if I can find it in Discord. It only happened a few days ago. Movies. Where the hell is it? Our new Superman and Lois is David Cornwell, and Lois is Rachel Bosman. And James Gunn has confirmed this to be true. So this is it us or some other person talking out of their ass? But James Gunn has said that they are miles and miles and miles and miles away from having their back. Here was an interesting criticism I saw. Superman Returns was just a sequel to the Christopher Reeves films, which is very true. And Man of Steel was a riff on the first two Reeves movies. Superman Legacy will be the first Superman movie that will be probably different and unrelated to the Reeves/Potter collaboration, and that's why it was here for. It is. James Gunn has revealed there is no plans for the Suicide Squad people. Also confirmed on the Michael Rosenbaum podcast. James Gunn had no problem with the striking similarity between David Conswell and the former actor of Superman, Henry Cavill, which they do look kind of similar. Tom Cruise says he loves a double feature, and it doesn't matter, doesn't get more explosion or pink than the one with Oppenheimer and Barbie. I like this one. David, I canceled Batgirl Slazbot has been invited to join the Academy. Next we have is
I suppose.
this happened today, the day being the June 30th, 2023. Warner Brothers lot was on fire, and no one was hurt. Apparently, someone got it on fire. And the big one of the main big ones, is the Flash star Ezra Miller has finally spoken out about his behavior against him, but the allegations, I'm sorry. He said, and I quote, "I'm encouraged by today's outcome and very grateful for this moment to anyone who has stood beside me and sought to ensure that this outrageous misuse of the protective order system was halted. Protective orders were meant to provide protection and safety for families, individuals, and children who may be in danger. They are not meant to be used as a weapon by those seeking attention or feeding tabloid fame or some sort of personal vendetta when they are people in true and dire need of these services. I have been unjustly directly targeted by an individual who the facts have shown have a history of such manipulation and destructive action. I implore those members of the media who have recklessly false claims and failed to accurately report the truth on contents of the story to hold themselves to a higher standard and take the time to find the facts rather than chase the click. On a personal note, I want everyone to know that I am continuing to do my best to protect my own wellness and I can to reverse the collateral damage this ordeal has brought upon me and those close to me. Finally, to all those many beings in this world who have had the enormous courage to see me through all of this and here with me, I will spend a long time trying to explain to you it has meant to have your support. Your undying gratification and admiration and love, Ezra Miller. That has to be the biggest load of dog shit I've ever read. Don't you agree, DJ?
Now, on to the Marvel stuff. We started off with
You don't have any thoughts on what I read about Mr. Miller?
No, because I swore off Ezra Miller a long time ago in a galaxy far. Please let it be far away from me.
Got it.
Different universe away from me.
Okay. Okay, yep, on to Marvel then.
All right, in that situation, Dan Slott will return with a new Superior Spider-Man series this fall, which I don't know how they're going to bring back Superior Spider-Man, but hey, we'll just have to see. X-Men 97 producer,
Just say the producer, just don't say his name.
I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. Responding to fans' whitewashing backlash over again another name. I'm gonna say their last name. Augustini's casting as Sunspot in the Disney Plus series. It's not a valid criticism. It is an uninformed one, and I will defend my decisions and my crew. From what I see, it doesn't look that bad.
It's an animated show. Who cares?
Exactly. An animated Spider-Woman spin-off is coming sooner than you'd expect, says Avi Arad.
Shut up, Arad.
Finding out Avi Arad was the one to suggest the spot as the one for Across the Spider-Verse is bewildering.
Yeah, it's an okay one.
Chris Hemsworth says his children's friends were not fans of Thor: Love and Thunder.
Not a lot of people were, Mr. Hemsworth. Say it.
No, they weren't. He even responded to mixed reviews saying, I think we just had too much fun. It became too silly.
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, that was pretty much, that was one of them. Beyond the Spider-Verse will be the end of the Miles Spider-Verse films. That's it for us. We are so tired, says Chris Miller. I bet they are. There's so much stuff in it that just...
This is an interesting crossover that you might like.
Oh yeah, brother. It's the showdown you never knew you needed. Predator versus Wolverine hits shelves this September. I will be picking this up. Uncover the secret in two of pop culture's deadliest icons. Shamik Moore says that he'll be losing weight in hopes of playing Miles Morales in live action. Although someone makes a good point here, he's 28. I think he's just a little bit old to be playing, an average Miles.
Yeah, true.
And Haley Steinfeld says that after voicing Gwen Stacy in the Spider-Verse films, playing a live-action version, the character would be the easiest yes of her career.
I can see her.
Yeah, she looks the part. Most of us already know this, but Spider-Man 2 releases on October 20th, and Venom is not going to be Eddie Brock in this universe, leading to speculation of anywhere from Matt Gargan to Harry Osborn.
I've heard another theory. It might be Peter.
That would be very interesting. Elizabeth Olsen says that she's currently does not miss playing Scarlet Witch in the MCU. She's good at saying, if someone were to tell me that I was fired from Marvel Studios, I would feel proud of what we made. Marvel also announced Avengers Inc., a new ongoing comic from writer Al Ewing and artist Leonard Kerr coming this September. The series will be a noir-inspired I can't speak right now. Noir-inspired story. To be fair, that's a tongue twister. Starring the Wasp and a mysterious undead man going by the name Victor Shade, a former alias of the Vision. Tom Holland shares his one condition to return to Spider-Man 4. If we can't find a way to compete with the third one, he'll swing off into the sunset. I'm not entirely sure what that means. fans.
Mm.
Although it might have to relate to the fact that Tom Holland would love to see Miles Morales in live action in an upcoming Spider-Man movie. How do you want me to tackle this next one?
I don't know.
Okay. Large content warning for those who are listening. We're gonna talk about some heavy themes real quick. Then we'll get back to the nice stuff. I believe his name is
Just say his I hate to say it, character name. That's easier.
Yeah, Namor, the actor who played Namor in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, has been accused of SA. That is all we know right now. We do not know
No,
anything.
next one.
Oh yeah. According to saxophonist Maria Elena Rios, says that he's a violent and sexual predator. I'm not gonna go too much into this because it's just her reiterating that same sentence.
Yeah.
But we're gonna leave that right there. Unless there's anything else I need to mention about it.
There's one more. I'll read that one because it's right after a different one. But he has responded saying that it is a speaks out to the. Oh no, never mind. Different guy. Never mind.
Okay.
Different guy.
Awesome. Marvel Spider-Man 2 will take place about 10 months after the events of Miles Morales. Let's see. Manu Rio speaks.
I don't think that's a Marvel one.
Okay.
Delete.
The Spider-Verse story, The Spider Within, follows Miles as he experiences an anxiety attack when with it manifesting through a dark figure representing his alter ego, as well as an imaginary infestation of spiders in his bedroom.
Who invited Craven to the movie?
Seriously, didn't Craven do that in Craven's last time?
He also ate him. It was weird. They're weird.
Craven's a
Craven the
weirdo.
Hunter.
Marvel release date shakeups. Deadpool 3 has been moved from November 8th, 2024 to May 3rd, 2024. Which I did not expect it to be moved up, but Captain America Brave New World shifts from May 3rd to 2024 to August 26th. Are they talking about New World Order, or did they change the name of the movie?
They changed the name of the movie. It's no longer Captain America New World Order. It's now Brave New World.
New World Order is just a cooler name, though.
Yeah, but also it's also kind of tied to a very not very nice thing.
Fair enough. Thunderbolts has been moved to December 20th, 2024, and Blade to February 14th, 2025. Fantastic Four will be on May 2nd, 2025. Those are two very close. Those three movies are in very close conjunction with one another.
Yeah, and I didn't know Blade the Vampire was a love story.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it like Deadpool 2? I mean that was a love story.
I don't think that was on Valentine's Day.
No. Sad death that we have to report. John Romita Sr., legendary
monster. You skipped one.
Did I skip one?
You did.
Oh, Kang Dynasty.
Yeah.
It's getting pushed back an entire year from May 2nd, 2025 to May 1st, 2026. It's taking the place of Avengers Secret Wars, which is jumping from May 1st, 2026 to May 7th, 2027. Good lord. But yeah, sad to report that John Romita Sr. Has passed away at 93. Who was known for creating such characters as Wolverine, Mary Jane Watson, and the Kingpin. At least co-creating, I believe. This one is funny. A little bit lighthearted to move away from the whole death thing. Harrison Ford.
You skipped another one.
All right, James Gunn was sort of saying, "Sorry to hear about the great comic book artist John Romita Sr. passing away at the age of 93. My brother and I wrote Mr. Romita when we were young kids, and I sent him drawings of superheroes that we were working on. He wrote us back, telling us what he liked about the drawings. A truly memorable experience of my life. If you feel the magic of comic books, which seems so otherworldly, wasn't actually that far away. My thoughts and condolences are with him and with his family and his loved ones."
There we go.
Harrison Ford on if he will turn into the Red Hulk in Captain America Brave New World. What is a Red Hulk? That's the most Harrison Ford answer I believe he could have given.
Mm-hmm.
Daredevil Born Again has halted filming until the writer's strike ends with fair paying conditions for writers. I love me some Daredevil, but at the same time, good. Spider-Man producer Amy Pascal has addressed if an on-screen crossover between Miles Morales and Tom Holland's MCU hero will happen. I will never say no to anything, but I want him to keep going with this franchise with Tom. Tom Holland says that he was the best at keeping secrets for No Way Home.
Not what I believe, because everyone else leaked themselves.
It was literally the worst kept secret in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Also, The Incredible Hulk will arrive to Disney Plus, despite the fact that it's technically canon / non-canon to the MCU. It's weird. Tom Holland says that he keeps in touch with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in a group chat called the Spider Boys. toys.
That's kind of funny.
That's pretty cool. And he also says that he regrets not calling Andrew Garfield after being cast as Spider-Man, saying he never took any time to think about what it must have been like around. But Tom Holland was also said that part of him wants to walk away from Spider-Man. He says, I feel like we hit a home run with our first franchise. There's a part of me that wants to walk away with my head held high and pass the baton to the next lucky kid that gets to bring this character to life. So we'll have to see. Chris Hemsworth says if Thor 5 happens, it needs to be unpredictable. I don't want to continue to do the thing until other people are so and I don't want to continue to do it unless people are so exhausted that they'll roll their eyes when they see me on screen as Thor.
We'll already do that, Mr. Hemsworth. I hate to say it.
Yeah. Let's see. Marvel Comics also announces the new Captain Marvel ongoing from writer Alyssa Wong and artist John Bazooka. Launching this October. The series comes after the recent conclusion of the 4-year run of the character written by Kelly Thompson. Pixar CCO, almost said CEO, Pete Docter on Across the Spider-Verse. It was amazing. It's almost like a different language in terms of the cinema, the storytelling. It's a great thing about not having so much stuff. It's art. It's not a competition. Wedding bells are ringing in the Marvel Universe, but why in the world would Emma Frost marry Tony Stark? We're about to find out in the pages of X-Men and Invincible Iron Man.
That's what I have to explain. So we have to cover somewhat for this one that has Tony going down the stairs of the wedding. Do you see all the characters in that one?
Yes. I'm not gonna. There's a few. We have Captain America. We have the Wasp. There's Ant-Man. There's Sam. There's Captain Marvel. There's Thor. There's She-Hulk. I believe that's Nova. Vision. Wanda. There's America Chavez. Doctor Strange. Hulkling. Wiccan. I believe that's Ironheart. Photon. I believe that's Cassie. And wait a second, Carl. Who's that?
You mean you didn't see Spider-Man? You missed Spider-Man up in the corner. It's the Iron Man logo.
That's not who I'm talking about.
Yeah, they spoiled that. This book is coming back.
Already, even the fact that they already killed her off, like
A month ago, at least.
they made the biggest deal about it. Whatever.
Yeah.
We knew she was going to be back, and knowing Marvel, we should have expected it to be about this long.
Yeah.
All right, let's put our listening ears on because this is going to be a bit of a doozy.
So this is the only one. There's only two in this I take over, and this is the one of them.
All right, go ahead.
Neil Kirby, son of Jack Kirby, has released a statement about the Stan Lee documentary. The statement goes as such: the 13th century Islamic poet and scholar Rumi said, "The ego is a veil between human and the Disney Plus documentary bio of Stan Lee is the veil is lifted." Presented in the first person with Stan Lee's voice providing a running narrative, it is Stan Lee's greatest tribute to himself. The literal expression of the ego is a personal noun, I. Any decent journalist or English teacher would comment their students for not overuse it. So the challenge is to extend it to anyone who wishes to count the number of I's during the 86-minute runtime of Stan Lee. Understand that as a documentary about Stan Lee, most of the narrative is in his voice, literally and figuratively. It's not any big secret that there's always been a controversy over the parts that have been played in certain creations and success of Marvel characters. Stan Lee had the fortunate circumstance to have access to the corporate megaphone and media. He used those to create his own mythos as to the creation of Marvel's characters pantheon. He made himself the voice of Marvel, so for several decades he was the only man standing and blessed life, the last man standing. My father died in 1994. It should be also noted that generally accepted that Stan Lee had a limited knowledge of history, mythology, or science. On the other hand, my father's knowledge of these subjects, in which I and many others have personally attested, were extenuous. Einstein summed it up better. More knowledge, less the ego. More knowledge, more the ego. The statement continues. He said, if you look at the list and the timeline of Marvel characters from 1960 to 1966, the period in which the vast majority of the Marvel pantheon were created during Stan Lee's tenure, you will see Lee's name as a co-creator of every character, which is expression of the Turtle Surfer, solely created by my father. We're assuming Lee had a hand in creating every Marvel character. I'll be assuming that it had never of the other co-creators that walked into Stan Lee's office and said, "Man, I have a great idea for a character." According to Lee, it was always his idea. Lee spent a fair amount of time talking about how and why he created the Fantastic Four. Only one flaring mention of my father. Indeed, most of the comic historians recognize that my father based the Fantastic Four on a 1957 comic he rated with called The Challenge of the Unknown. Even naming Ben Grimm the Thing after his father, Benjamin, and Sue Storm after my older sister, Susan. Though the conflict between Lee and my father, foreign creator credit, gets glanced over with little mention, there is a more attention paid to the strife between Lee and Ditko, and Lee's voice proclaims, "It was my idea, therefore I created it." Ditko's rebuttal being that his art and storylines are what brought to life the Spider-Man. In 1501, the Cadella de Bone commissioned a 26-year-old Michelangelo to sculpt a statue of David for the Cathedral of Florence. Their idea, their money. The statue was called Michelangelo's David. His genius, vision, and creativity. I'm slowing up the last page. I misplaced that actually. The other page says, I am very fortunate. My father worked at home in Long Island. His basement studio referred as the dungeon. Usually 14 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. Most artists, inkers, and writers, etc. work at home, in the Marvel offices as depicted in the program. Though middle and high school, I was able to stand at my father's left shoulder and peer over the cloud of cigarette smoke and witness the Marvel Universe being created. I am in no means a comic book historian, but there are few, if any, that have personally seen or experienced what I have and know the truth first-hand knowledge. My father retired from the comic book industry in the early 80s and, of course, passed away in 1994. He had over 35 years of uncontested publicity, which naturally, with the backing and blessing of Marvel, has boosted the Marvel brand as a side effect of boosting himself. Decades of Lee's self-promotion culminated in his cameo appearance in 35 films, starting with X-Men in the 2000s, has converted his status as a creator of all things Marvel to an otherwise unknown movie audience of millions. Familiar with the true history of Marvel, my father had first seen credit didn't appear until the closing call at the end of the film adaptation of Iron Man in 2008, after Steve, Don Hale, and David Lear. The battle for creator rights has been around since the first transcription of the Babylonian tablets. It's way past time to at least get this one chapter of literary art history right. Next said, I'm Neil Kirby. What do you think of that very long statement, Joe?
There's a lot to unpack, and something that could be its complete own discussion,
Yeah.
which our thoughts should probably be saved for that a different time.
Yeah.
But it is very interesting, and obviously some people are going to have some differing opinions on it, but you can't say it doesn't bring up a stirring conversation.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the rest of Marvel. Let's see, where do I pick? Here we go. Spider-Punk's world will be further explored and beyond the Spider-Verse. Samuel L. Jackson doesn't plan to retire from playing Nick Fury. A lot of people already know this, but the opening credits of Secret Invasion are made by AI, which is all kinds of whack. And El Muerto no longer has a release date.
Or its star.
Yep, because Bad Bunny will no longer be part of the movie due to his hectic tour schedule.
Yeah, this is why you don't hire me.
So, and there was a few people who were planned to be in the movie. Marvin Jones III was circling the role of Tombstone, and apparently former WWE star Sasha Banks was going to be playing a role in the movie, but that never happened either. I think it's fair to say this movie isn't coming out. I think it's been canceled.
You can only pray.
Spider-Man actor Josh Keaton says that there are 5 seasons planned for Spectacular Spider-Man before the show's cancellation. One season was going to be a year from Peter's life in high school, and the last season was going to be him graduating. I wish we could have gotten more spectacular. Really do.
Damn Disney buying the Marvel animation rights.
Yep. Marvel's launching a series of What If books in 2024, including What If Loki Was Worthy, a Loki and Valkyrie story. What if Wanda and Peter were siblings? A Scarlet Witch and Spider-Man story. What if Mark Spector was a host to Venom? A Moon Knight and Venom story. I mean, that actually sounds kind of cool if it weren't for the fact that the Venomverse already existed.
You're not understanding this very well.
I know it's What If, but
no. You said the Venom verse, like you mean the Sony verse?
No, I'm talking about that verse where everyone had the Venom symbiote.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you thought this was like part of the Sony verse. Like, no.
No, I was talking about the fact that there's the universe where everyone has the Venom symbiote. It's no longer special. Samuel L. Jackson says Marvel have shot down drones that people fly over their sets while filming. They follow one back to where the dude was. They found him, and yeah, they got him. I know it's just Sam Jackson being Sam Jackson, but that sounds like they killed him.
They
silenced him.
Give me your drone, buddy.
Exactly. He knew too much. He also says that the script for the Avengers was stolen and put online for sale. Marvel arranged a fake buy.
His version of the script.
Oh, his version. I thought just a version of the script.
No, he says his script for the Avengers was stolen and put online for sale.
That's even better. Marvel arranged a fake buy to find the thief. They found out who it was. Dude quit, left the country. Let's see here. Just a few more left from Marvel.